Sorry about that, guys. Good. Yeah, something was weird with the last one. How's it going? So as I was saying before my audio got messed up on the last one, still carless. Yep, I'll have it back on Tuesday, so. But I'm getting a lot of stuff done for my album, so I'm pretty stoked to have that being posted to be crowdfunded. Most of you guys are probably rejoining because you were in here before, but new album info is coming this weekend. I'm just finishing it up today. I had to take a break because I'm so sick of being on the computer. It's a lot of effort putting up an Indiegogo campaign, so nice. Tomorrow I potentially could do that. We'll chat about that. Yeah, the Indiegogo campaign is going to be fun. It's going to have a lot of instruments to give away, which is cool. Be Celtic, baby pan, a bunch of different stuff. This is the baby pan actually that I'm going to be giving away. I'll show it to you. So I just think these are so darn cool. They're only 5 notes. Oh no, actually 6 notes, I lied. But there's just something fun about this size. Yeah, I'm pretty stoked about the album too. Super fun. Yeah, this thing is adorable. And they're pretty reasonably priced, even just to purchase them in general. So I'm happy to have their support for this album. So I have some of those sent to me in Lisbon. Yeah. So this is Velas Sound Sculptures. I'm giving this one away, actually, raffling it off on my new album. I will have that up very soon. I will have it up this weekend. I'll do a live stream and announcement and stuff officially on the page, but the sort of entry to the lottery for the Indiegogo campaign will be, I think it's around like 45 an entry. And I'm going to limit it so that you have a good chance of being able to get one of them. But if you just wanted to outright buy them, Velas Sound Sculptures is the maker as well. Very reasonably priced. And it's just so darn cute. And it comes with a really cute bag too, so I have a thing for tiny instruments. So it's a good thing. And it matches all the D minors that everybody has too. And this one is extremely well tuned. I actually left this out in the sun, which is a huge handpan no-no, because I was out working with the chickens, and I left it out, and it was fine in the morning. Shocking. So, oh yeah, this weighs like a quarter of what a handpan weighs, so I can hold it with like a pinky. It's like super light. I like it. Doesn't have this rim. I added this rim to it. This is actually the only handpan I've played that I prefer without a rim around the outside. So let me show you guys another instrument. First thing I played last stream was the hum. Let me show you another cool one. So a million years ago, I was on a wait list for a Pantheon steel instrument. This is a Pantheon steel. It's not an instrument that I am super in love with. I love their brand, but I'm not in love with this scale, I would say. I think it's a great quality instrument, but I was on the 35-year waiting list for a Pantheon steel back in the day, and obviously didn't make it to that point. But I always wanted one, it's along with the Hong as well. So this was an instrument that, although, again, not my favorite scale, was one that I felt was kind of important to have, just because it was part of my interest in handpans, was Pantheon steel. And this particular one is a beautiful Mandarin minor with an impex, so the central part goes in versus goes out. To give this guy a good wipe down. It's interesting because it has a different feel to it because of that inner impex. You can't really hit it with the same sort of thumb strike. Yeah, it kind of does have that. It does have that feeling to it. It has a sparkle to the sound, which is really, really interesting. So one of Pantheon Steel's innovations is that they use this special rolling process. You can kind of see it at this angle. So instead of hammering out all of the areas between the notes, they have this roller that creates the interstitial pressure that kind of isolates the sound of the note. But it leads to a very different timbre instrument, which is kind of cool. So, cool instrument, not my favorite scale, but it's still an interesting piece of history. They also use round tone fields, so they have kind of this Pringles shape to the way that they're tuned. So it's a different layout, different feel. The Impex is super funky to play if you're used to a normal ding that comes out in Apex. So wild instrument. Super fun. If you guys have any scale requests while I'm on live, let me know. This is a custom scale that I purchased many years ago now from my friend Jesse Schmitz at Godin Handpan. Super cool guy, great maker. Oops, someone said something. Can you play Anolio or Aeolian? Is that Anolio? Is that or I think that's what you're asking for. So this beast is probably 4 years old now, and I really like it a lot. It's definitely a different scale than most of my instruments because I chose the scale for it, and yeah, it's very unique. I wrote, I believe "Kin" was the song that I wrote on it on the last Handpan album that I did. My patient, thank you so much, appreciate that. You were in Peace Trevor around August. Peace. Yes, I will be traveling in some of August. This is usually the time of year that trying to get as many lessons in as possible, so I won't be going too far this August, but hopefully this fall I'll be doing a little more traveling. Also in November I'm going to be playing at Pan Marco in Florida, which should be fun. So this is a Godin Rewild Your Soul scale. Yeah, I do actually have a couple handpans I'm selling, Jody. I have an order for 3 more that are coming in next week, maybe the end of this week. Well, actually, this is the end of the week. Early next week, yes. Yeah, handpans, I do sell them. I'm not an active seller really, but when I'm traveling to do lessons or I'm performing somewhere, it's nice to have a couple instruments because people inevitably want to buy one. This particular scale, again, it's made by Gardin. It's kind of it's a major scale, but I wanted this half step in here so that it has a jazzier feel. Super unique, very different structure. Every handpan has a unique shaping. This one has very defined oval tone fields, which is kind of interesting. The handpans I sell are stainless steel. I'm working on getting them with my branding on them. And a friend of mine is the one that works for the company, but he was helping tune everybody there, and they're really nice quality. I actually think they're worth more than what I'm buying them for and selling them for, but I'm also going to be giving away that Temu handpan that I bought. My friend Mountain Man Handpans in New Hampshire is retuning that for us, so it should be better than it was. It's still, the Temu handpan is not very good, but it'll be something if people want to, just get something that they can bash around or float in the river or something. So yeah, that's a Godin handpan right there. I think you were asking for the Anolio, Jody, so I'll grab that. Alright, here's the Anolio. I think that's what people were asking for. So this was a scale. Back in the day I was friends with someone who ended up parting ways as friends, but I bought this from her before we did. And she had gotten it, and it was just too difficult for her at that time. This was way back when I first started to play. And I thought it was an interesting challenge because it was completely different than the Celtic scale that I had already. But I'm really glad I got it because this is probably one of the best sounding raps that I've ever played too, so. I will play something on that. Absolutely. is also 20% off. Yeah, for European people. On the official Rumix.eu website. Because Rav is moving their warehouse to where they just moved to. Not issue, but the thing with scales like this is they always sound like this scale. So if you buy a Arabian Nights or a scale in that realm, it's hard to make it sound like anything but that scale, which isn't a bad thing. It just means that it has a particular feel to it. So yeah, it's a really nice one. I agree. I'm glad that I bought it back in the day. Let's see if any other questions. Thank you so much. It's actually on my album, Lux Natura. I think it's the 4th song on that album. What do you think of Pan Attorney Stop On? You know, I think I understand both sides of it. I think pen art chose to engage with that whole situation in a very weird way. They could have been kind of the grandparents of that community. Instead, they chose to, try to stop it. So I get the intellectual copyright concept, but it doesn't seem like that's the most effective way of, enforcing your copyright. Especially because it's silly to think that there's been no progress and no innovation since they made that instrument 23 years ago. I find that handpans have come a long way from the sound of the pan art hung. So we've definitely improved in many areas from that original instrument, but it's a part of history, so it's sad to see that it's part of these sort of legal litigations and things. But hopefully there's a resolution that doesn't involve everybody being sued even more. So I know that some makers, such as my friend Sebastian at Luna Sound Sculptures, have reached out to them and said, we respect your instrument, we've made our own innovations to that shape, and tried to talk to them just as human beings, and I think to no avail. And their claim has been, from what I've read, that the form of these instruments does not need to look like this. There are other options for creating it. So it's a tough call. As a creator of instruments myself, I understand the logic behind them, but I don't necessarily agree with the approach, obviously. So, any other scale requests? I'll probably do one more tune now that I'm on here. Maybe two if we have some energy to do it. Yeah, this is a hong for my friend on here that asked about the hong. This is from 2009, so it's a pretty ancient instrument. Very short sustain, opposite of what a stainless steel sounds like. They're interesting too because they have round tone fields, so it's kind of fun. Blue Lotus, yeah, I like that. C Mystic. I actually do not have a Mystic scale, shockingly. I do have a C Curd. I can grab that. I also have a really, really neat echo sound sculpture that is not a Mystic, but it's a funky scale. So maybe I'll grab that to show you guys real quick. Also, good news on the Rewild Your Soul signature scale front. That is 100% happening this fall. Again, still waiting on all the time frames for that, but I'm pretty stoked to be bringing a new scale to market from Rav. So, all right, let's see. Yeah, I think I'd be interested in trying a neotone instrument. I think neotone probably has the nicest looking interface out of all of them, so I'd be open if they sent me one. I'm not sure I would want to buy it, just because I have so many instruments already. So this is an Echo Sound Sculptures. This is one of the other classic makers from a while ago. This was made in 2021, so it's a newer instrument, stainless steel. Very low. This one's amazing. It's a very special instrument. It's not something that I play all the time, but you can kind of feel the magic in this particular scale. So, thank you so much. Appreciate that. So yes, I would say that these do. So the interesting thing about having sort of an apex center to the dimples is that if I didn't want to isolate the harmonics the way I did, so putting my finger on the octave or fifth, I could simply just take my finger and touch the center and still do the same thing without having to move my hand. So it definitely changes the way that you approach striking it. So, all right, guys. So I'm going to give you the info for my new album very soon. Thank you for hanging out. And I'll be doing a live stream in the next couple of days talking about how you can get early access to some of the things you can win for that and how you can fund it. So appreciate you guys, and I will talk to you very soon.